Howdy, peeps. Today, we're going to talk about the power we bring to grow our LDS singles groups by befriending, I'm going to get the word right, befriending individual singles one by one. Join the Journey Radio starts right now.
Welcome to the infusion of positive energy into the lives of single Latter-day Saints everywhere. This is Joy in the Journey Radio.
And welcome back, peeps, to another wonderful, splendiferous, joyous episode of Joy in the Journey Radio. I am Lance, your host for Joy in the Journey Radio, and this is episode number 413, Befriending the One. The One. That's right, peeps. We're going to talk about befriending the One today. If you're joining us this evening for the live broadcast, the live stream, as it is called, please join the chat. The chat. Tell us where you're watching the program from. If you're watching the program at a later date, then leave a comment down below the video. Let us know where you're watching from. That will help us with the algorithms. It'll also help us to understand where our audience is to be found. Okay, peeps. I want to begin the program today with an apology. Earlier, I had announced that the program for today would feature a forum of singles leaders. The plan was that we would discuss their challenges and how the principles I have been discussing in the most recent episodes of Joy in the Journey Radio could help them overcome their challenges and get on the road to 10x growth in their singles groups. I was all excited for what I had planned, and then reality reared its head. True to form, I could not find anyone to accept my invitation to join the forum. I must not be looking in the right places, but even if I knew the right places to look, that wouldn't help me for the program I need to broadcast tonight. So apologies for anyone who was excited like me, looking forward to hearing a forum. Obviously, I'm the only one here. Well, you're here too, obviously, but yeah, they're just here in this room in the JJ Thrive Zone. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, in lieu of the forum I had planned for tonight, we're instead going to talk about befriending the One as a way to travel the road to 10x growth in our singles groups. I thought that if we can't go as planned, we could at least keep with the theme that we've been engaging lately of growing our singles groups. So let's start with this question. How exactly do singles groups grow? Well, they grow as individual singles commit to participate. In other words, they grow one LDS single adult at a time. Therefore, it only makes sense that to grow your singles group, you must interact with individual LDS singles one at a time. And those interactions must persuade them to decide to become part of the group. Now, typically, singles leaders will attempt that persuasion by planning attractive activities. They want these balls of excitement, and he's going to throw us a ball of excitement. It's going to hit us like a peatball. It'll splatter all over us. We're going to be so excited because the excitement inside the little ball of excitement is going to diffuse to us by osmosis. We will know and be excited too. Actually, it's a little more dramatic than what actually happens, but you get the point, right? That they seek to exemplify the maxim that bigger is better. So they plan dances in special venues, or a visit to an expensive attraction, or a trip to a distant, desirable destination. Bigger is better applies in many contexts, but doesn't necessarily apply when attempting to grow your singles groups. That's because the principle of growth is not based on size. It's not based on excitement factor. It's based on love. And love doesn't need a big to-do to impress. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. One of the most impressive singles activities I ever attended was very small. There were only 4 of us that were there, right? Not only was it very small, it was very much unplanned. Yet it was so impressive that I remember it today, more than a decade after it actually took place. And what was this impressive activity? It was a testimony meeting inside a van. The 4 of us were congregated outside the house of one of the counselors in the stake presidency who hosted a weekly FHE for us singles. But for this particular week, he forgot to inform us that his family decided to go out of town. So we tried calling him. Calling his phone got us to voicemail. So we decided to wait in the van of one of the participants. Well, I mean, because it's like, what we can do? We just wait for him to call back, right? Well, while we're waiting, hey, one of us is like, hey, come sit in my van. So while we're sitting there in this guy's van, we engaged in conversation. One thing led to another. Before you knew it, we were sharing our testimonies of the restored gospel with each other. The spirit was so thick, could have cut it out of the air with a knife. Now, that activity wasn't very big. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't at some fancy destination. It wasn't even planned. And yet, it was so memorable that over a decade later, I still remember how it felt to be there. I remember the spirit that testified of the truths we shared with each other. I remember the love of the Lord that the Spirit communicated to each of us. I remember feeling more love for the others in our small band, even though we came from different backgrounds and even different generations. Here's the kicker. Our group would have been 3, not 4, but 3, had I not reached out in love to an individual single adult and invited him to make a contribution to our little party. You see, this is how the growth happens. You reach out in love to other single adults, you help them to feel loved, and then you invite them to make a contribution. Now, keep in mind that as you follow this principle, and that's what it is, it's a principle, reaching out, helping others to feel loved, and inviting them to make a contribution. Like, as you do this, not everyone will respond positively. Like, initially, some are going to resist. And that resistance usually comes from less effective ways of thinking about LDS singles life and singles groups. They don't have the vision we have discussed in earlier programs about everyone coming together to support everyone. Instead, their vision is filled with a personal agenda. Now, for many LDS singles, that personal agenda centers on dating. I participate in singles activities to find my eternal companion. That's totally understandable. It's also totally obstructive to building the support community that many LDS singles need to receive the blessings that they need in their lives. So here's what we see too often. Too often, we LDS singles see opportunities to interact with one another through the lens of dating. Now, that perspective brings out, what it does is it brings our focus inward towards ourselves. And instead, what we need to see is, we need to see through the lens of friendship. That perspective brings our focus outward towards others, allowing the blessings that those others need to come to them more easily. Friendship is best felt in one-on-one interactions. Those one-on-one interactions can occur in group contexts, of course. And when they do, the presence of a group can reinforce the friendship being communicated. But the channel through which that friendship is communicated, friendship that persuades LDS singles to join and participate in a community of support, that's always sent and received one-on-one. It's high time for all of us LDS singles to befriend the one. Now, I'm sure that all of us intuitively understand what it means to be a friend. So instead of rehashing some definition you've likely heard before, I thought our time together would be better spent discussing 3 different aspects of friendship that I think are really key, especially when it comes to growing our singles groups. First, I think more of us could spend more time shutting our pie holes and opening our ear holes. That's right, shut the pie hole. Open the ear hole. Open the ear hole. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about listening. But that's not just hearing the words that other people say while you look for your chance to insert your own words. No, no. Again, it's about shutting your pie hole, not saying anything. I'm talking about listening as an activity of understanding, that you hear what others say, not just to process their message in your brain, but rather to understand them, understand who they are, understand what they are experiencing. The simple act of listening is beyond profound. We all have a basic human need to be heard and to feel understood. When we choose not to control or direct the actions of others, but instead give them the space to express themselves as they choose, we demonstrate respect for their agency. And by repeatedly not speaking and simply listening, we are in effect declaring that we stand by others regardless of the path they choose or what pace they choose to pursue the path that they choose. And that's the mark of a true friend. What blessing could we be to other LDS singles if we simply listened more? Instead of interacting only with those whom we want to date, what if we interacted with everyone with an interest in understanding them or simply letting them be heard? By putting aside the personal agenda, we can more effectively befriend the one. Second, we need to see each other more as God sees us, as his precious sons and daughters. That makes all of us brothers and sisters. Yet far too many LDS singles see a duality in their local church community, especially in geographic wards. I mean, there's the singles and then there's the marrieds. It's an extremely common perspective among singles. And even in singles wards, we find singles distinguishing between different groups. Making any distinctions that bear little, if any, weight in eternity will make it more difficult for us to reach out to other LDS singles in true friendship. By seeing one another as our own brothers and sisters, not someone fundamentally different, it then becomes much easier to extend the hand of friendship and the love that friendship bears in a new culture of togetherness. So when we see other LDS singles as fellow siblings on the same eternal journey, our perspective allows us to feel more compassion for others and more desire to be the true friend we need to be with one another. Again, it helps us to befriend the one. And third, I think we need to involve others in reaching out to and befriending the one. Now, I've been talking here about a vision that is needed for single groups to grow. And it's a vision that we've been discussing about in the most recent episodes of Join the Journey Radio. It would be easy for someone listening to that vision to think that I'm talking about the leaders of LDS singles groups. Well, I am, and I'm not. Wait, what? Nah, how does that work? Let me explain. Stephen Covey once said that leadership is a choice, not a position. The true vision for growing singles groups I've been advocating all along calls for building communities of support, and those communities are built by LDS singles who come together to support each other. In other words, everyone takes upon themselves the responsibility to minister to and support everyone around them. Now, this vision differs radically from the vision typically had within LDS singles groups. Under that more popular vision, it is the leader who ministers to the other singles, who in turn simply set and receive. That, after all, as this thinking goes, is what makes that person the leader. No, actually, that is what keeps singles groups small and not able to bless the lives they should be blessing. Leadership, remember, is a choice, not a position. That means everyone can make the choice. Everyone can take the lead in reaching out to the ones around them, ministering to the ones around them, supporting the ones around them. Sometimes that support means bringing others in the group together to support a single member of the group, pun intended. I mean, think about this for a minute. What if we singles involved one another in supporting each other? What if instead of everyone doing their own thing, everyone reached out to include everyone? What if we each told each other, come talk with me, come sit with me, and come do what I'm doing with me? I mean, real friends bring everyone in. That may be the best support for singles dealing with their pain and grief, many of whom struggle unbeknownst to those around them. So let's all be more active in befriending the one. Let's listen more and more often to one another. Let's see one another more and more often as God sees us. And let's involve others more and more often in befriending the one. By so doing, we will build the support community that all of our singles groups need to be. That will provide more blessings more often to more LDS singles. That will bring more of us closer together, which in turn will bring us closer to God. And that will bring us more joy in our journey. Well, peeps, that's all I have for this episode of Join the Journey Radio. I kind of had to throw something together really quick on the fly because when I saw that the forum wasn't going to happen. So again, apologies for that. But thanks to all of you today for joining in with the program. Let's check the chat and see if anyone left a message. And I'm not seeing anything in the chat. So I guess that's all we got, peeps. So, if you have something you do want to say about what we discussed today, there's nothing in the chat. So obviously, if you have something, you're going to be leaving it as a comment down below the video that we're going to post online. If you have a topic or question you'd like to see addressed, we're happy to help. Please leave a comment down below. And if there's something we can do to help you overcome the challenges of LDS singles life, yep, you got it. Leave a comment down below. You can also go to the contact page at jointhejourneyradio.com. And, there on the website, you'll find lots of resources connected with the program, resources designed to help LDS singles find more joy in their journey. And there on the contact page, there's a form you can fill out to send a message. So if, when you leave a comment to, down below one of the videos that we post, everyone in the world can see what it is you're saying. So maybe you want to send us a message and you don't want the world to read it. Well, for those, extremely shy and introverted people, we want to include you too. So if you go to the website, go to the contact page, and there's a form you can fill out, send us a message, and we're going to be the only ones who see it. Well, unless I decide to share it with others, which I don't know. It depends on what you say. Maybe we'll be like, oh, hey, check this out. Oh, typically we just, we respect that. So yeah, you can go to the website and, leave us something there. And that'll be a good way for you to reach out and tell us what's on your mind if you're extra shy and introverted. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content that you find helpful so the algorithms will get more of our content and push it out to help other LDS singles. So until next time, this is your host reminding you there is joy to be had all along your journey. So take that joy and journey on.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Come on. Give me some. Give me some. Give me some. Give me some of that. Yeah. Woohoo! I will see you cats on the flip-flop later.